Hello, hello, and welcome to this week's episode of The Hard Choice Simple Steps for Showing Up. My name is Brad Draper. I am your host. I'm grateful to be here. I'm excited. I'm energized. I'm caffeinated. I got a nap. It's awesome. Let's go. I went and picked my son up from school today, and I was really tired. I'm not operating on very many hours of sleep. And my son was basically asleep in the back of the car. Picked him up from preschool. And not basically, he did fall asleep on the way home from school. It's a whopping 12-minute drive. So that tells you how tired he was. And I'm carrying him in the house. I said, okay, buddy, let's lay on the couch and take a nap. I'm going to take a nap with you. He goes, no. I want to watch a movie. And he's throwing a little fit. And I lay on the couch with him. And he cuddles up into a ball and he passes out. As do I. Anytime I'm cuddling with my kids laying down, that's like a knockout pill for me. And I was gone. And I set an alarm. So I was smart to do that for 20 minutes. And then in my days when I woke up, I hit the alarm to repeat. So I slept for 40 minutes. It was awesome. And I'm grateful for afternoons like today where I'm able to do that because most of the time for the last couple of months, that has not been a possibility. So I'm grateful for those slow moments to when I can lay on the couch with my son, whom he's 4, and cuddle with him and share a nap together and how beautiful that is. I'm grateful for those moments and I'm grateful for those opportunities. And I know they're not going to last forever. Time is fleeting. Time moves so fast. I was pondering this morning about how our 6-year-old, when he was born, and some experiences when we didn't have kids. We had a little minor earthquake at our house today. It's like 2.4 or something like that. I didn't even feel it. Our neighbors did. And I remember back to when I was standing in my house and the chandelier started swinging. And that was before we had kids, and that feels like it was yesterday. But time moves so fast. Pay attention. Be in the moment. Be present with those whom you love. Time is fleeting. This moment is to never exist ever again. This exact moment. It's only happening once. It comes and it goes. As fast as it comes is as fast as it goes. What are you doing with those times? What are you doing with that experience, that opportunity? Because your next breath is not guaranteed. I have had an increasing number of friends, which is not cool. Increasing number of friends just fall over and die. What seems to be great health, pulmonary embolisms, blood clots, heart attacks, strokes, just random things. By the way, all of those are blood clots, and there's a certain little jab that does that too. Yeah. But it's wild. And you're not guaranteed to wake up tomorrow. Many millions of people died this morning in their sleep. You're lucky and should be grateful that you woke up and that you have another chance at another day to get after the things you want to get after and to create experiences with those whom you love. How beautiful of an experience and opportunity that is. Pardon me. So last episode, I was talking a little bit at the end there about being in 75 hard and following a strict macro plan and eating the same freaking foods and getting to my goals 3 times faster than I was expecting. Literally. I was planning on hitting, so I weighed in at 230 pounds, which is about the peak that I've ever weighed. I was a little rounder than I liked. Okay. I was a little softer than I liked. Okay. But I can move a lot of weight. That was awesome because when you have weight, you can move weight. Physics, simple physics. Anywho, I digress. But my goal was to go from 230 to 210 in 75 days and be around 10% body fat. I had a specific look that I wanted to attain, which is a look that I've had many, many times in my life, and I know exactly how to get there. So I set on my meal plan, but this time, as I said last episode, this time I was eating the exact same thing with very little deviation, and my carbohydrate source is dried fruit. No rices, no grains, no starches. Periodically, really rarely, I've had rice when my wife makes it for dinner, / I make it for dinner. And I'll incorporate some chicken when we grill chicken, just so there's not leftovers, because I'm the leftover eater in my house. Nobody else really likes leftovers. Sometimes my sons like pasta for leftovers, but when it comes to chicken and rice, it pretty much just sits in the fridge until it gets thrown away, unless I eat it. So I've incorporated some of that chicken and some of that rice. That's pretty much it outside of variation. I wake up, I drink a protein smoothie that has protein, aminos, electrolytes, and I've recently added, arginine and turmeric for inflammation decrease and for nitric oxide boosting. That's my morning smoothie. I do that. I do 4 eggs. I do 1 ounce of turkey. I do 1 ounce of Colby Jack cheese. That's my breakfast. And I kind of split it up because it's a lot of protein and things. So I split it up over about 2 meals. And then lunch comes. I have a protein bar. I have some peanut butter with dried fruit. I have cottage cheese and Greek yogurt. That is my entire lunch every day. And then we come into dinner. I have peanut butter, dried fruit, cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, protein drink. That's my dinner every day. And yeah, I change up the flavors of the electrolytes that go in my Greek yogurt and cottage cheese because that's how I flavor it. And it keeps it from being too monotonous and too boring. It keeps it fun. But at the end of the day, it's just discipline. It's just monotonous, day in, day out discipline. And this is the first time that I've eaten 99% of the time the exact same things at the exact same time every single day. Well, dried fruit, by the way, is anti-inflammatory by nature. And when you think about dried fruit, there you go. Calorically, it's massive. Volumetrically, super freaking tiny. And that was pretty hard for my body to adapt to. Kept thinking that I was hungry. I wasn't hungry. I have enough calories in me. But I wasn't used to the volume, the amount of food that 100 grams of dried pineapple is, which, by the way, is like 2 rings. 2 dried pineapple rings is about 90 grams of carbs, versus 90 grams of carbs in rice is a plethora of rice. Like, you have a full stomach from that. Just that. You go 90 grams of carbs in broccoli. Now we're talking like multiple heads of broccoli. So previous diet styles, I did huge volume so I could feel full. This time I did very, very low volume, things that are naturally anti-inflammatory. Within the first 7 days, I dropped, in the first 4 days, I dropped 9 pounds of water. 9 pounds. I went from 230 to 221 pounds in 4 days, just dropping water. That's how much edema I had in my body. And I knew I was really inflamed, hence taking all these anti-inflammatories. I could feel it in my joints. I could feel it in my body. I was sluggish from this amount of moisture in my body all built up. And then over the course of the next 30 days, I went from that 211 to 209. Not even 30 days total, by the way. So over the course of the next 26 days, I went from 211 to 209, dropped another 12 pounds. So losing 21 pounds in right around 30 days is ridiculously fast. Too fast. And I was not prepared for that. I hopped on the scale the first day that I did, and I was 215. I was like, oh, crap. I'm okay. Let's up my calories. I'm too low of calories. Historically, I would stall out at 207. I can never go below 207. And I was eating at a massive deficit. I was eating at like a 1,500 calorie deficit to do that. Not good. Not cool. It sucked. I was starving all the time. I was irritable. I was pissy. It wasn't fun. But here I am, satiated, full, and yeah, I'm dropping weight. So I upped my calories. And then I weighed in and I was 212. I said, oh, dang, I'm down more. And that was after like 4 days. And so I started doing high-low days. High days on my weightlifting days, low carb. So high carb day, low carb day. High carb day on my weightlifting days, low carb day on my active cardio days, which is just walking on a walking pad in my office. And I maintained that, and I bumped up my calories by 200 calories a day, and on average. And I weighed in, I was 210. It's like, dang. So I upped my calories again. 209. Dang, up my calories again. And this morning I weighed in at 211. I want to be right at that 210 range. And so I'm starting to find that balance point to where I can maintain now with my current fitness plans. And when I'm finished with 75 hard and I'm not rucking every single day, which by the way sucks, well, then I'm going to have to find the new caloric value. I'm going to have to find a new caloric happy medium. And I told my wife, I said, at first this was monotonous. This sucks. But man, these results are mind bending. They are so fast and so accurate and so acute. And it's awesome. And I look amazing naked. My wife loves it. And that's the whole goal, right? That's why we get in shape. So we look awesome naked for our spouses. And I thought about this quite a bit. In the past, I would spend great deals of time making meal plans and making menus and making these complex things and trying to fit the food in my calories. Whenever meal was available, I'd fit the food in my calories. But this time I decided, let's just keep it simple. The KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple. Keep it easy. Keep it repeatable. Keep it monotonous. Keep it scalable. And then wouldn't you know, I hit my goals way faster than I thought. This is analogous to business. This is analogous to life. When we make things complex, it becomes hard. When we make things fancy and pretty, all these fancy meal plans and menus and weighing out foods and all this stuff, weighing out a variety of foods is what I'm saying. It makes it really hard to maintain. It makes it really hard to continue, to turn it into a lifestyle. It is very difficult to live like that for an extended period of time. If you talk to all the top athletes in the world, I don't care the sport, the winning athletes, if you ask them, do you eat the same thing every day? They're all going to say, yeah. Same thing, same time, same amount. Everything is the same because they're removing a variable, the nutrition side, and you can really micro adjust, acutely adjust that sucker strictly to really dial in the thing exactly that you want. Monotonous, boring wins over fancy, sexy, and complex every time, without fail. The simpler it is, the less variable. The less variable, the less availability for complication and failure. Did I eat my food? Yes or no? It's lunchtime. Let's eat my food. It's 11 o'clock, which is when I start eating my lunch. It's 11 o'clock. I'm going to eat my protein bar. I put 10 grams of peanut butter on it. Oh my gosh, that is so good. I love it so much. And I eat my carbs at that point in time. And then I wait a couple of hours. And then I eat my cottage cheese and Greek yogurt. And I throw electrolytes or a Zip Fizz. That one's kind of fun, by the way, because it turns Greek yogurt and cottage cheese into like a mousse. And it carbonates it. And it's caffeinated. That one's pretty fun. I learned that one by happenstance. And have never gone back because it's awesome. But I make it fun. I make variation within the monotony. It's finding variation and games in the monotonous things. I mentioned this many episodes ago, years ago, when I was in the laboratory and I perfected 100 milligram balance weighing with any type of sample. I could just pretty much sometimes 100.00 milligrams nail that weight. And that comes from repetition after repetition after repetition after repetition of doing the monotonous things and finding beauty in the monotony. With food, find beauty in the monotony. With business, find beauty in the monotony. In your relationships, with your friends, your family, your kids, whatever it is, find beauty in the monotony and you will scale that thing to wherever you want it to go. And you can control so many more aspects because it's dialed in. That is what I have for you. That's what I want to share with you. And I want you to share that with your friends and family and anybody you know or come to meet. person that you met today, share this episode with them. Say, this can help you. You can find me on socials, Mr. Brad Draper. Let's have a conversation. I love to have those conversations. Like this thing, subscribe to it, download it for future listenings. Until next week, I love you guys. Bye.